Alright guys, we have a good one today. All the gameplay you're seeing is from the Mythic Content, so we're minus 50 power level in here. When I say you can quite literally walk through Mythic Content with this build, I mean it, and I'm in here solo at that, so every single enemy is focused on me. We have the best damage reduction in the game by combining Frost Armor times 8, which is a 50% damage reduction, with Void Overshields, which I believe are a 70% damage reduction. And then correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I'm pretty sure the Void Overshield inherits the Frost Armor damage reduction, which just turns you into a Titan that can face tank anything. Then we add 3 sources of healing. This includes Orbs of Power, the Stasis crystals that we are creating in abundance, and of course our exotic of choice also heals us. And with such high damage reduction, these sources of healing keep us full with ease. And then if you have some decent armor sets, you could add in 2 different ones that also gives you multiple ways of healing. Then we add in the right fragments and mods to keep our abilities coming back so fast. In the gameplay, you'll notice we have pretty much infinite class ability. We also have a grenade that comes back in less than 10 seconds regardless of kills. Then our melee comes back super quick thanks to the amount of stasis shards we can create. And then lastly, we have our Glacial Quake super that is probably the best roaming super in difficult content, thanks to the damage the stasis crystals can do when exploding and taking advantage of it in different rooms, and it just does a ton of damage. Now the gameplay loop is very simple. You slide into a group of enemies and pop that class ability. This freezes everything around you, it instantly gives you Frost Armor times 8, and it heals you. Now since everything is frozen around you, you go to town using your strong weapon. You defeat those frozen targets, which feeds your class ability. Use your grenade and melee when you think it's a good time. I probably should have been using my glacial grenade more often because of how fast you get it back. So then you're just cycling through your abilities, and then you'll pop your super as soon as you get it because you'll probably have that super back in each room that you go into. Thanks to roaming supers getting extra regen based on the damage you're doing. And you're doing a lot of outgoing damage. Now let's cover those reworked stats for Edge of Fate, because this new stat system just helps this build function so much better. For class ability, aim for 100. I had 98 in the gameplay, but this just helps refund that class ability so much quicker for us. The next most important stat would be the grenade stat. I had 97 in the gameplay you're watching. If you can get close to 100 with this, that's how you have a glacier grenade coming back within 10 seconds or less, all the time without needing kills. Now the third stat I would spec into is that super stat. I had 94 in the gameplay. This just allows us to get Glacial Quake so much quicker. Because it is a roaming super, we get the 3 times bonus to it by the outgoing damage that we deal, and our exotic weapon is dealing some great damage for us. You'll see 2 shots from our exotic weapon can give us like a quarter of our super. It's really cool. And then the fourth stat I would push up is your melee stat. I had 70 in the gameplay. This is the least important. You could even sacrifice this melee stat and go into weapon stat if you wanted to, completely up to you. But since stasis shards give me melee ability energy back consistently, I wanted to at least hit 70 here so I could cycle back to that melee pretty quickly. But completely up to you on the 4th stat that you want to choose. So just aim for 100 class ability if you can, 100 grenade if you can, and 100 super if you can. Those were the 3 main ones that I would be aiming for. Now our 2 exotics we choose with this build play a huge part, and when we combine these 2, it makes for some serious tank gameplay. First off is our exotic weapon called Slayer's Fang. You can get this from the Kel's Fall Pinnacle mission, I believe, and it's quickly becoming a mainstay in my rotation, and here's why. The ammo generation stat on this weapon is at 70 alone. So then when we add in a special ammo finder, a void ammo generation, and a void scavenger mod, those 3 mods, we easily get this ammo generation close to 100. So literally every 4 kills you make with this weapon is going to spawn you special ammo. That's not including other ways we're going to create special ammo. So right off the bat, you basically have infinite ammo. Slayer's Fang hits really hard. When you get a final blow, you trigger Nightsworn Sight. Final blows grant you true sight, reload speed, and precision damage is increased. And the submunitions that break off weaken targets. This weapon also stuns overload champions intrinsically. And then when you weaken those targets, we add the Repulsor Brace Catalyst in. So when we defeat those weakened targets, we get that full Void Overshield. As you can see, we're proccing this very, very often. And this weapon puts in some serious work, so I urge you guys to try it. We're going to combine this with the Icefall Mantle Exotic Gauntlets. Rapid Stasis Final Blows grant you Frost Armor. You heal a small amount whenever you gain Frost Armor, and it replaces your class ability with that burst of Stasis energy that freezes nearby combatants. And it grants you increased Frost Armor as well. So essentially when you pop your class ability, you're freezing everything around you. You get 10 HP per stack of Frost Armor, so a good 80 HP heal here. And that times 8 Frost Armor that you gain is giving you 50% damage reduction. And that's just on its own. And we pair that with Whisper of Refraction as a Stasis Fragment. Defeating slowed or frozen targets grants you class ability energy. And then of course we push up our class ability stat. But with 98 class ability stat, we're getting more chunk ability energy gains coming back to us. So you only need 4 or 5 kills to instantly refresh that class ability for you, which is very easy to do with that exotic weapon that's hitting so hard, bouncing between enemies, and weakening them. For the 2 aspects I paired with the build, that would be Diamond Lance and Tectonic Harvest. Tectonic Harvest lets you create stasis shards when you shatter crystals or frozen targets. These shards grant melee energy when picked up by you or your allies, and then picking up those shards grants you frost armor as well. It doesn't state this here, but those shards also heal you. It's not a crazy amount, I believe it's only 5 or 10 HP, but because we're creating so many, that really does add up, and that healing is substantial when you combine that with the healing from Icefall Mantle. And then I still like Diamond Lance. It's just another form of freezing enemies. You spawn one every 7 seconds. You can pick them up, slam it into ground for more frost armor, or just lead into your next area or next fight by grabbing one and taking it with you. For fragments on the build, we went over Whisper of Refraction for that class ability energy. We'll take Whisper of Shards. Shattering stasis crystals boost your grenade recharge rate. This can go up to 10 seconds. It's a 500% increase. And when you combine that with close to 100 grenade, you will have that grenade back in 10 seconds no matter what. We'll also take Whisper of Fissures, so it increases the damage and size of the burst of stasis. This includes our super, this includes our glacier grenade, this includes when you freeze people with your melee or your class ability and they shatter, so just overall a lot more damage. You'll add in Whisper of Rime. Your frost armor has increased duration and max stack count. This lets frost armor last 13 seconds. And then the last fragment is up to you. I still like Whisper of Conduction. This is just a quality of life. Nearby stasis shards track to your position. This has 15 meters that it pulls them into you, so it's a pretty big reach. And I really like this one because those stasis shards just feed your melee ability. Since we had 70 melee, we could easily get our melee back from one glacier grenade basically. These stasis crystals are also healing you, so I like just to have passive healing going on instead of having to go pick them up. And it also gives you a plus 10 super and a plus 10 health, so an extra 20 stats isn't bad. Now for the mods on the build, these actually are really important. The way I have it set up is to have infinite armor charges basically, so I can spawn in special ammo on any finisher I do. On the helmet, just take a special ammo finder to feed in that Slayer's Fang, and also avoid Siphon because most of my kills are coming from that shotgun. On the gauntlets, we'll take a firepower, so Glacier Grenade can spawn an orb of power when it kills something. We'll take a momentum transfer, causing damage with grenade reduces your melee cooldown, and a bolstering detonation, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with your grenade. Because we can guarantee our grenade coming back in 10 seconds, it just allows that ability to feed the other 2 abilities. On the chest piece, I liked 1 Void ammo generation, again for Slayer's Fang. On the boots, I liked a Void Scavenger. We get extra ammo to that Void weapon when we pick up a special ammo brick. And then I really like Elemental Charge here. Collecting stasis shards has an escalating chance to give you an armor charge. Basically, 4 stasis shards will give you an armor charge. We're just sucking in so many stasis shards from Whisper of Conduction that you're going to have your armor charges coming back all the time. You'll also take a recuperation here, so we can replenish some extra health when we pick up an orb of power. Now on the class item, you'll take a special finisher. Finishers generate special ammo for the whole fire team when you have 3 stacks of armor charge, which you will have up pretty much all the time. We'll also add in a powerful attraction, so when we do pop that class ability, we suck in any orbs that are around us, and then a Reaper mod. So we can spawn an extra orb of power with our weapon kill after using that class ability, and you're using that class ability all the time. Now for artifact mods, you don't really need anything certain. This build will work perfectly fine without anything. I would add in a couple here. Refresh Threads is really strong on Stasis. Picking up an elemental pickup matching your subclass element grants energy to the least charged ability. This just feeds the overall gameplay loop because you are picking up so many Stasis shards and we can create so many that it'll just feed the gameplay loop pretty easily. You can take Frost Renewal. While you have Frost Armor, taking critical damage releases a burst that freezes nearby combatants and grants you Frost Armor to you and nearby allies. And then you could also add in Shield Crush. While you have Frost Armor, your melee recharges faster and deals increased damage. Our melee isn't a big part of this build, but you should be using it often because the base Shiver Strike melee is actually better now. I don't remember a couple seasons ago, but it got a nice buff where it knocks the enemy back, it puts like a freeze bomb on them, and then they'll explode and freeze everything around them. So it's actually not bad and does okay damage. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.